and welcome back to the Mindful Shift podcast. I'm Leopoldine and I'm excited to have you here with me once again. If you're new here, welcome, and I'm so thrilled that you are joining our tribe. This podcast is designed to empower you and help you create your best life. In this episode, I want to share something that I think we can all relate to, no matter what's going on in our lives. I feel like we all struggle with fear or even anxiety, no matter how we call it, in one way or another. Sometimes it hits us really hard, but other times it can sneak in quietly. You know those mornings when you wake up feeling anxious, or one little thought can spiral into a wave of negativity, or simply opposite thought about what we want. It can definitely leave us panicked, scared, or even just spiraling all day long. And truth is, it's all because our mind are trying to keep us safe, even if it doesn't help us in this case, right? Fear is just part of being human. It's our brain's way of protecting us. But it can also turn into a way of thinking, into a comfort zone. And in this case, we pick up patterns based on our experience or what we have learned through time. Remember though, giving in into that fear is a choice you make. And that means you can choose differently at any time. And of course, we all have natural fears that actually make sense, like being cautious around wild animals or feeling uneasy when we are up high. It really is our brain's way to keep us safe. And that little voice tells us to keep clear out of danger. But then, like I said just before, there is this other kind of fear or anxiety. Those that we keep going back to whenever we want to think differently. And usually it goes way back and it is tied to things we experienced in the past, over the years. A lot of time, those fears aren't even helpful anymore. But we still hang on to them, on those fearful thoughts. They turned into belief that we carry with us. And we end up projecting those fears onto our future, therefore limiting ourselves and creating even more resistance against what we desire. So the thing is, it is our job to break that cycle and make different choices, to start to think differently. It can be tough, and yes, it will require some effort on your part, even discipline, but it is definitely worth it. There is a lesson in A Course in Miracles book. It's a metaphysical textbook that talks about the idea to laugh at what they call the ego tiniest mind idea. And it's actually really interesting of a perspective. So in the book, the ego is just that annoying voice within our heads that fills us with fear and keep us from moving forward or even getting what we desire. So when they say to laugh at those fear-based thoughts, it is like saying that we shouldn't take ourselves or even life too seriously. And isn't that a refreshing idea? Just think about it. Allowing ourselves to have some fun while looking at those fear-based thoughts and realizing how ridiculous or even not true right now they are. Because the truth is, most of the time those thoughts aren't even true right now. They aren't really happening right now. So why choose those fearful thoughts instead of thinking about what we want? But if we do keep thinking them consistently and persistently, like any other thoughts, it will become our reality anyway. So it is just a matter of choosing what reality you wish to create. And taking things less seriously is a good reminder to keep things more light and shift our perception to way more easily. And sometimes we get so caught up in our worries that it feels impossible to laugh at them or to see them in a new light, right? It's like we let those fears take the wheel and take over our lives, literally take control of it. We literally give them power over us. We place those fearful thoughts on the pedestal. But what if we are willing to start to think differently and choose to see things from a new perspective? And it is really up to us to choose what our thoughts mean, what our reality mean, and whether whether or not we want to take them seriously, the importance we give them, the power we give them. When we recognize how silly those fears can be, we can step back a bit and take back control of our lives, take back control of our mind, literally not let them control us. And by doing so, we learn how to free ourselves from fear and anxiety. It is really about finding that lightness and new perspective, really. And you know what? We really need to be that person that can take a step back and laugh at the chaos around us sometimes. And laugh at those worries that get in the way of what we really want. The unexpected circumstances that only means what we want them to mean, even if it's the opposite of what we want. Sometimes we get all caught up in fears like not getting along with a group of friends or new strangers, making mistakes at work, stressing about money, or even just feeling anxious about trying something new. And while sometimes for some of you it can help to write those things down in a journal, you really don't have to do that if you don't want to, especially if journaling isn't your thing. Of course, you can always, if it is your thing, just do it. As always, it is up to you. Always do what feels good for you. First and foremost. After all, you're the only one setting the rules in your reality, in your life, remember? Just remember those fears and you can take that power back anytime you want, starting right now. Because what you think is true is only true if you think it is. Changing how you see things is literally one of the most important keys to create your best life. You know that moment when you realize you are in control of your life and not your fears? It is pretty powerful. Damn. That's when you can really look at those fears and anxieties and see how silly they can be. You can figure out why they don't make much sense and even change how you see everything that's going on around you. You can even choose to laugh at the chaos around you. So what are some ways you could find some humor and lightness in your current situation? You know, sometimes we really worry about stuff that doesn't make sense. Like for example, if you are stressing out about how terrible you can be at that new hobby you are trying. Just stop for a second and think, wait, have I actually messed it up yet? I mean, we are all learning and it is okay to make mistakes. It is even totally fine, especially when you're learning something. Plus, if you are enjoying it and get better at it, that's what really matters in the end. And besides, you can't get better at it if you don't make mistakes. That's how learning goes. So when you really look at those fears, most of the time that sounds pretty silly. So why not take them less seriously? Why not even laughing at them? Just take one thought at a time and laugh at all the craziness you can create sometimes. Find the humor in them. And those crazy thoughts that pop up in your mind and freak you out, you don't even have to take them seriously at all. You don't even have to give them power at all. They don't have power over your life if you don't want them to, if you think so. If you think they are just false, fleeting, and they don't mean anything and they don't have any power in your life. They won't, literally. But it is your job to flip the script and tell yourself a new story. Give them a new meaning as well. Turn it out in your favor. Because as always, you are in charge of your own life. You are the creator here. You're the only one on the pedestal of your life. The most important being here. And certainly not your fears and doubts. And sometimes it can really help you to call someone you are trusting. Someone like your best friend or your mother or father, someone that you know that will uplift you and your mind, not someone that will do the opposite, please. And honestly, I often do this with my best friend or even my mom. And that really helped me realize those thoughts aren't even true. They are just a creation of my mind, literally. And it's amazing how much better I feel afterward. You could also try using thoughts or affirmation blankets like, I am safe. Everything is always perfect in my life. Everything always works out in my favor. And those affirmations can be really helpful when you are feeling anxious or upset, when you are literally spiraling, or even when you want to give up about your manifestation, thinking the opposite of what you want. You just keep repeating those thoughts until you feel calmer and more in control of your thoughts, until you can think more clearly. And once you are in a better place, you can See those fearful thoughts as what they are and not take them so seriously. If you find it hard to use words in your mind and you are more a visualizing person, then you can imagine a warm cocoon wrapping around you like a blanket, for example, something that makes you feel safe and secure. Picture something short that will remind you that you are safe right now and that everything will be okay, that your life is perfect because you think so. And keep replaying that scene over and over and over again, like a mantra with words, but with images. And for those who rather like journaling, then you can write those affirmations. I am safe, everything is always perfect in my life, everything always works out in my favor, in your journal over and over and over again until you feel more calm. The thing is really to find the technique or the practice that makes you feel good, as always. Alright, that's it for today. If you liked this episode, and I know you did, drop a comment below and let me know if you have any questions. And let's laugh at those little crazy thoughts together and put those things behind while we drive, okay? Enjoy these tips, and use them whenever you need. I know they will really help you out. Have an awesome week, and remember, it's not the end until you get what you want.